I'm going to teach you how to do something very uncomfortable that will be helpful to you in your life, your personal relationships, and your career. I, of course, am Joshua Lisec. This is Daily Persuasion. I am a New York Times bestselling author and co-author, ghostwriter of 98 nonfiction books, and a certified hypnotist. Through this unique lens of experiences, I teach you how to better influence the VIPs of your world. You might have seen the number one trending topic on social media this past week, which of course was the phrase woke right. It has been popularized by the liberal character who's kind of cozied up to the right and is very much backsliding back to the left whence he came. His name is James Lindsay. He's an academic, he's a writer, and he is a prolific troll in his own right. He has recently given interviews to the New York Times, among others. We saw this sort of woke right business in The Atlantic magazine. He did a conversation with Jordan Peterson on Daily Wire, show, channel, content experience about this woke right. Now, the difficult and painful adventure I want to take you on is steel manning. You might be familiar with steel manning. It's where you give all benefit of the doubt where it may not be deserved, and you take the ideas as seriously as possible, as if they were coming from a trusted friend or ally, or they were saying, hey, did you see this? What do you think about this? And your trusted friend, your ally, is looking to you for wisdom, and you're taking it seriously. You thought, hey, there might be something to this, they say to you. And so now it's your turn to take it serious in response. What happens next? That's the question. With this woke right business, and I want to demonstrate this in a couple of minutes for you here in public, and I think this will be helpful to you. So, James has said in interviews, his belief in this woke right is that the left has identity, they have intersectionality. What that means is you are oppressed if you are black, you are an oppressor if you are white by your identity group. If you're a black lesbian, well, you're even more oppressed. You're doubly oppressed. If you're a straight white male, well, then you're twice as oppressive. So on this sort of hierarchy of human value, because of the 2 times more and the 2 times less than the default, a black lesbian is worth 4 times the human life of a straight white male. That's pretty rough. Actually, if you add in, I was wrong about this. If you add in the fact that it's female and male, that would actually make it 6 times more, right? So you add it for each factor. There's the default. There's the mean, right? There's the normal, the starting point, the baseline, and for each attribute you add, you get one above that or one below it, and so that's pretty intense. They're 6 points away in terms of value. It's like +3 for the black lesbian who's female, and then -3 for the straight white male. This is the cultural Marxist lens of oppressor versus oppressed classes. So when you think about it that way, so this is what wokeness is, right? And we need to depict ancient peoples, indigenous peoples of, say, Ireland. We need to depict them as black because that's only fair. They were all white, but that's not fair. So they use fairness, right? So if you wonder why there's a gay kissing scene in everything, including in like kids shows, well, it's because those human lives are more valuable to them because of the cultural Marxist frame of oppressor versus oppressed. I literally wrote the book on wokeness. Okay, it's called Unhumans. The point here is that you are unhumaning humans by saying, because of your identity group, because of your immutable characteristics, you are worth more or you're worth less as a person. So you consistently see the left unhumaning straight people, white people, male people. This is what we say on the new right. This is the book of the new right. This is the playbook. And it works, it's effective. And everything you see that's working that the right is now doing, the new right, I should say, is because of the Unhumans playbook. That's not an exaggeration. Now, James Lindsay comes along and says, everything I just said that the left does, the new right is doing. Oh yeah. They're saying this is the James Lindsay argument. He says the woke right, the identitarian right, the nationalist right, the conservative Christian right, they're flipping it and they're saying white people are worth more because they're oppressed. He says explicitly and specifically that his belief in the woke right is that there are people who are simply inverting the oppressed versus oppressor structure. They're saying because the woke left is oppressing white people, therefore white people are inherently more valuable because they're being oppressed. That's why James Lindsay calls them the woke right. Is anyone saying that on the right? I hear the right, including myself. We talk about consistently what the left is doing and what they are saying and why it is wrong. How the left continues to unhuman those they deem oppressors. 200 years ago, 100 years ago, 50 years ago even, it was all about socioeconomics. There's rich and the poor, there's the bourgeois and the proletariat. Well, now it's white and black, it's straight and gay, it's citizen versus illegal immigrant, right? It speaks English versus speaks Spanish, for example. It's from a nice, clean, safe rural suburb versus the people who are from urban, crime-ridden, drug-addled squalor. Here's the issue. Is anyone on the right saying what James Lindsay says they're saying? We're not. Now, I know this because James Lindsay blocked me over a year ago on social media. He accused me of saying liberals aren't people. Where did I say that? You can go look that up. His and my last interactions. Where did I say that? And I said, I respectfully, James, I did not say that. I did say this thing over here, as you can read in the book, and here's an excerpt. No, you didn't. I saw what you said. Block. Okay. And then he's been attacking me ever since, rather hilariously. So that's interesting. That's interesting. Funny enough, I bumped into him. I have got a cold today. My apologies. A bit funny enough, I bumped into James Lindsay in person multiple times. He always has to pretend that I'm not there. It's funny. Anyway, it's very catty, but woke right, woke right. Anyway, what Jack Posobiec has done is he has taken to calling these characters, taken to calling them woke light. Woke light. Because what they're doing is they're saying, if you say anything that is nationalist, well, that's basically the left-wing version of cultural Marxism and globalism. So if you're not a globalist, then you're a nationalist. And if you're not liberal from like the 1990s, then you're far right and therefore you're woke. We on the new right have a problem with the left and their wokeness and their perpetual unhumaning of humanity. But we're not saying what James is saying that we're saying. There are other characters, like the one we call Beef Sweats O'Fallon. Look that one up on X. That's a fun time. He says that I am a, quote, Christo-fascist and a Christian nationalist. Why does he say this? Now, he has accused me of this without us having any sort of interaction or conversation. And these labels are thrown, and of course he lumps me in with a woke right as well as just James and other characters. And I'm notoriously blocked by about half of the woke light. Now, what the woke light is these are people who are seeking liberal approval. James Lindsay is famously and gladly giving interviews to the left wing in order to perpetuate his ideas and attacking the right. I'm just not buying it. Even as I take it seriously and attempt to steel man what they're saying, and I might be the first person who's ever explained why James Lindsay and others are calling us the woke right. We are not saying, hey, here's what the left is doing and saying, let's copy and paste that for ourselves. You know how they're perpetually identitarian, intersectional. We need to be identitarian and intersectional too. I just don't see anybody who's saying that or doing that. And I'm right here in the epicenter of it. People will call me a Christo-fascist. Why? Because I believe that at all levels of government, Christian principles perform the best in creating the safest, fairest societies for all people. A sort of universal standard. Where did you hear Christian nationalism and Christo-fascism? So they just sort of make up these words and then throw them at you and kind of try to make it stick, right? You know who does that? The left, the woke. Hence, we call them woke light or diet woke. Fortunately, I don't think they're fooling anybody. James Lindsay and others are very good at making more enemies than friends. And so they will likely spiral out, and you will find James Lindsay doing a podcast circuit of all of the left-wing podcasts. My friend Gabriel Gudarini said this recently. He said that give it about, 8 months, 9, 10 months, and James Lindsay is going to be doing all of the left-wing podcast circuits because that's what he really is. He's woke. This is what they do.